Microsoft reveals its Surface tablet, podcasts get isolated in iOS 6, and the top FM radio alternatives for your next road trip. Today on App Judgment. This episode of App Judgment is brought to you by the 2013 Ford Mustang.
Welcome to App Judgment, your source for app news and reviews. I am Stephanie Chu.
And I'm Jackie Talbot. And a little bit later, we are going to take a look at some awesome FM alternative apps. So like, you know, you want to go for a ride or go somewhere and you want to listen to the radio, but you don't use radio anymore.
Radio dies, you get staticky.
Yeah, so we've been checking out some awesome FM alternatives. But first, before we get into that, Mel is here to show us some hot app news.
Hot app news, show us some hot app news. Yeah, FM's kind of dead, but we got some exciting news here.
Yes.
First off, Microsoft unveils its Surface tablet with a slick promo video. Check out this little bit here. All right, so that's a 10.6-inch screen. That keyboard cover looks pretty awesome. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Super smart.
Super
It's
smart.
so smart.
It's not a smart cover, it's super smart.
I like the keypad integrated into the cover.
Yeah.
It looks a little thick.
I was thinking it looks kind of fat. It looks almost as fat as my MacBook Pro, and I'm just like, I don't know, there's so many nice thin little tablets.
Jackie, it's just athletic.
Say what you
Well,
will, be
big
nice.
bones.
Big boned.
It's fat.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm getting one, maybe.
I like its
Maybe.
kickstand.
Yes.
The kickstand's
Pretty
cool.
versatile, and
Yeah.
hey, I'm pretty intrigued.
Me too. It's expected in October, and of course it will be running the Windows 8 Pro OS. Both should be coming out around the same time. Next up, Apple's iOS 6 moves podcast into a separate app. iOS 6 will be available this fall, and it's breaking out podcasts just the way it's broken out iTunes University, videos, iBooks, just the general unloading of
I
the
think it
iTunes
makes sense.
application.
These things have their own, like video, all that stuff you just talked about. It has its own thing, and it's kind of weird to me to like force it all into one application. I think they're kind of catching on to that.
It's nice to see that they're giving more exposure to podcasts as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking this is sort of a vote of confidence for podcasts, so that's
Yeah.
a good thing. All right, and finally, Mozilla is announcing the Firefox Junior for iPad. In this presentation, they called Safari a miserable experience, and then they backpedaled a little bit and they said, but it's still probably the best browsing experience out there on a tablet.
Right, but the selection is limited.
It
as
is
they liked to say.
extremely limited.
Yeah.
So they want to reinvent the browser with a new form factor, and what's the big deal? No tabs and 2 buttons. That's all
That's
you
it.
get. Back button does what you think it does. The forward button does a whole bunch of other functions. You should check it out. There's a demo video. The demo video is boring.
20 minutes of so boring. Like, that's all it is. I mean, you get the information, which is great.
Information is good.
You know?
So that's about it. That's all we have for the news, but we do have a road trip ahead of us.
Yes, so as we mentioned, we have been looking for FM alternatives for when you're wanting to listen to radio, but you don't want to listen to radio.
Yeah,
so,
and you can use it on your smartphone and your iPad. So
Yep, we got a ton of options. Do you want to check them out? We should go for a road trip.
Let's do it.
Let's go for a lunch road
go.
trip. Yeah, let's just face it. Nobody wants to listen to FM radio anymore because you can't do anything with it.
Okay, so what do we do about that? There's some alternatives to FM radio, especially if you have a smartphone, decent 3G or 4G connection.
Yes.
So let's talk about a few.
So Jackie, when we're on our next road trip
Yeah.
and FM radio just cuts out, we can take our iPad or our iPhone and, the iPad can be tethered to your phone.
That's
Oh,
what I
Yeah.
so you can use like the Wi-Fi streaming
Yeah, so
or
you can
the
have
3G?
streaming all the time.
do. Makes for a great car interface.
It's true.
The iPad.
And so one of the apps that you can use is called Music Mine by KCRW.
Love KCRW.
Yes. So these guys curated this amazing list of songs, and you can kind of slide around in any direction.
Yes, it's
Oh, yeah, it's
awesome
like a-
grid format.
You can choose a song you could stream from anywhere. I clicked on one of the Mayer Hawthorne songs and it was streaming from YouTube, so pretty awesome. And then, if you want another option, you can also check out TuneIn Radio. There's music streaming from like KQED, KNBR if you're into like sports radio.
This is like true FM.
So this is streaming
Alternative.
FM radio,
Yeah.
like iTunes radio can do. Like we stream K-Rock up here. Yeah.
Yeah, so when your favorite station goes fuzzy, you can find it on TuneIn Radio.
That's
Jackie and I are
interesting.
LA people stuck in San Francisco.
I know.
So we tune in.
What? What's
Through
wrong with San Francisco
internet.
music? So those are a couple
Awesome.
iPad options that are probably also available on iPhone. But what if you have an Android phone? Do you guys have options as well?
I do. I'm
You
an Android
do?
user. I think I'm the only Android user here. So for us backseat drivers, us Androiders, there's actually a lot of options on Android, as you Androiders know, but I have two favorites. I'm a big fan of Slacker Radio. Slacker kind of works, if you guys are iTunes users, I know you are, Jackie.
Yes.
You know, you get the list of streaming stations
Right.
based on genre. Slacker kind of works that way, so you can sort of customize a playlist based on the type of music that you like. So the quality of service is really good. Good solid streaming radio. The other one that I really like, this is kind of an underdog. It's called We Are Hunted, and this is another human curated music blog, and they happen to have a really good application on both iOS and Android, and Spotify within the desktop application, one of my favorite desktop apps. But we're talking about Android, and it's really good on there, so you can get into either mainstream curated lists or subgenre curated lists that are really good. I think you're going to find, to me, radio means you're not playing a playlist that you've made up yourself. It's a time to discover music. That's what I love about radio. So those are my two picks. I know one's an underdog, one's really popular, but Androiders, let me know what you think. Great news, everyone. Ford is back as our sponsor, which means we get to play with some really cool app technology. The 2013 Mustang comes decked out with all kinds of technology like Sync App Link. And if you're watching App Judgment, you know you already like the sound of this. One of the latest integrations with App Link is for the National Public Radio app for iOS and Android.
Please say a command.
Programs.
From NPR, this is Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR...
Keep up to date with great info with the NPR app while keeping your hands on the wheel. Thanks again to Ford for its commitment to great technology, and the 2013 Mustang for sponsoring our show. All right, we played a little bit of musical chairs. Jackie's in the
That's
passenger
right.
seat. She was driving.
Safety
Yeah.
first.
Because you're going to show us some iPhone apps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys know Spotify, right?
I love
I
Spotify.
sure do.
So before you had to pay for a service on Spotify, like you could listen to the desktop app for free, but you have to pay to use the mobile app at all. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. All of a sudden, they're like, today,
Just today, they updated.
they updated the app so everybody, even if you pay premium, nothing, or everything, you can use the app and you can stream free radio.
And this,
something.
by radio, you mean this is like Pandora style radio?
Yes, sorry, this is not actual FM stations. This is just like lists, like curated lists, like Pandora. What's cool is you can kind of look around and like see like what's cool, like what's hot and what's top, and like what the cool kids are listening to and stuff. But you can only go through, you can find radio stations based on genre. And then you stream those, and if you like it, you do, and if you don't, too bad. Sweet. But there's also, which I love, Songza, which is another kind of Pandora-ish playlist radio app.
Songza has been my go-to party music for a long time.
I love it. And you were saying actual people curate the list. They're not just kind of like based on algorithms. So they have like all these cool like titled playlists, like this one's Sunburnt Synths, which is, you know, obviously like summertime good music.
I get it.
You know, it's pretty clever.
Mellow, indie, what's...
Yeah, this
I
is
saw-
mellow
I saw,
indie,
like a pool party
snow
list,
day.
and they probably have a road trip list.
I'm sure they do. What's really cool is you don't even have to think about it at all. Like you open the app, you need an energy boost, you need like something for the summertime or timeless genres.
Keep you awake.
Yeah.
It's caffeine when you have Songza.
I know, right? So let's get an energy boost and let's do energetic rap. Sounds good.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's on Android, iPad, and iPhone, so it's not
Yeah.
just on iPhone.
All right, so there you go, some choices for iOS and Android for all you road trippers.
Well, if you guys out there loved any of the apps that we talked about, or if you've got any others that we haven't discovered yet for road tripping in the car, give us a shout. Leave us a comment here on YouTube.
Obviously, make sure you subscribe because we love that. You can find us on Twitter. We are always on Twitter. We're also always on Facebook and Google Plus and Crosswalk. You got to join our community on Crosswalk. And anywhere else online, just search AppJudgment. And we'll see you next time.
Oh my God!